Do you know how cylinder heads are refurbished in Pakistan? For just 5,000 rupees, they can restore it to working condition. Despite lacking advanced repair equipment, the refurbished cylinder head looks like new. This particular cylinder head was severely deformed due to the engine overheating. However, since imported truck parts are costly, the owner brought them to a specialized shop in Peshawar, ready to spend 5,000 rupees for a complete refurbishment. The technician quickly removed the valves and used a homemade stand to clean the interior meticulously. With this engine clocking over 600,000 kilometers, carbon buildup inside the cylinder head had already affected valve operation. After loosening the carbon with a screwdriver, they needed to use a grinding tool to clean the inner walls further and ensure no carbon residue remained. The technician then gave the valves a simple polish and removed the dirt and grime on their surfaces to prevent them from hindering the refurbishment process. Next, they cleared the intake and exhaust valves to ensure all carbon deposits were removed entirely. Even though they didn't have a high-end ultrasonic cleaner, the cleaning efficiency was still high speed, and they skillfully handled even the scraper. After the first round of processing, they used abrasive stones to grind the cylinder head surface to remove surface carbon and prevent excessive warping. After a quick check with a steel ruler, they blocked all the water passage openings with wooden plugs. This is because, without using antifreeze for long periods, regular river water builds up scale inside when temperatures rise, significantly reducing the engine's cooling efficiency. Once all the holes were sealed, diluted oxalic acid was poured in, ensuring it made contact with the entire interior. After filling the cylinder head, the wooden plugs were checked to prevent acid leaks. Then, the cylinder head was sealed and let sit for 10 minutes to allow the oxalic acid to react with the scale. When the plugs were removed, a burst of gas was released due to the pressure buildup from the reaction, and the scale inside was thoroughly cleaned out. However, this wasn't yet up to the standard for reuse. To ensure no carbon residue remained, the injectors for all 6 cylinders had to have their copper sleeves removed. Although removing these copper sleeves was challenging, their homemade tools made the process smooth and efficient. Next, the interior walls were ground and polished to restore the cylinder head as close to factory condition. After completing the preparatory work, they used a high-end milling machine to machine the entire cylinder surface, correcting deformed areas. While this does thin the cylinder head, as long as the machining thickness is controlled, it won't affect its functionality. After about half an hour of milling, the cylinder surface was flat. To improve the fit of the valve seats, all 24 valve seats were ground to ensure no unnecessary scratches remained. The technician polished all the valves, shining the cylinder surface to remove any remaining carbon deposits. Although the owner didn't opt for a replacement, the refurbished cylinder head is still fully functional. After reinstalling the valves, they checked the fit with a feeler gauge to ensure they were flush with the cylinder surface. The technician then manually ground all the valves with lapping paste to improve the overall fit. By the end of a long day, the valves met the required standards. They carefully marked the valves since they can't be randomly positioned after grinding. To ensure the cylinder head was spotless, they thoroughly scrubbed it with diesel, restoring it to its original factory condition. After cleaning, they applied engine oil to the valves for proper lubrication. The diesel clean valve springs were locked into place with tools. The cylinder head refurbishment was completed after a final hammer test to ensure everything was secure. So, what do you think of the skills of these Pakistani